Good afternoon. You're on Ottawa Designers. We're here with Katie Darcis, who is a human potential advocacy expert. How are you today?
I'm doing phenomenal, Sandria. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just in San Diego right now. I know you mentioned the weather is crazy right now in Ontario.
Jealous.
Same here. We've got rain here. We've got a crazy rain hailstorm, believe it or not.
Oh, interesting. We have the opposite. Us is it snow, but hopefully I'll be in Palm Springs soon enjoying the warm weather. So I'm looking very forward to that. Could you give us a little bit of a history of yourself and how you got into this field?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Katie, former school teacher from a small town in Northern Ontario known as Thunder Bay, a population of 120,000. Most individuals within this town are within a profession that's government funded, mining, all that kind of stuff, industrial jobs and such. So growing up in a town like that, I was surrounded by men. I'm the only woman in my family. So I grew up as a tomboy, loved being in the dirt, loved getting my hands dirty, and really learned through practical means, meaning kinesthetic, hands on, versus being in the books. I was always outside doing new things, trying new activities. So from there, the age of 9, I knew I wanted to become a school teacher for the
Oh,
purpose of evolving education and being that positive impact to leave children specifically with a whole new perspective when it came to living. Quickly learned that teachers don't have that authority, and there's the curriculum and policy that you must follow. So, in that short 5-year span, I took it into my own hands to pivot and now find myself in the online space working with individuals all over the world to really take the means of their life into their own hands. Of what I had envisioned with youth, I'm now doing with adults, and really showing a different way to live where we are able to truly embody what it means to be free and align with truth, as many of us have gone down this path where we are conditioned to accept that which is around us. We're genetically programmed, we're environmentally programmed. And it is up to us when we experience and we reach adulthood to take that matter into our own hands if we want to experience a new level of truth and freedom. So that is what I specifically focus on, and shifting the conversation from mental health to human potential advocacy.
I love that. That's a great term. I think it's phenomenal to use that. Mental health is a big general term, and human potential advocacy is so much more inspiring. Has there been people that have inspired you to get to where you are today?
Absolutely. I do believe that, mom and dad were my greatest mentors up until the age of 25, and got me to the point where I found that, I fit into this white picket fence life, if you will, and realized that, this isn't quite right for myself. I'm living a good life. I've got all of my means covered. However, this isn't what I truly want in my heart. There was a misalignment between what I was living and how I was feeling on the inside. So from there, I really took, like I said, my autonomy back and stepped out of the known, because the known scared me more than the unknown. I knew I didn't want to live that life for 30 years. I knew where mom and dad ended up, and that was something I vowed to myself that I will not carry out. So then I got exposed to a number of different mentors. Specifically speaking, I am inspired by a woman of the name Tara Pilling, who is a consultant for Diamond Mine Consulting. And she really follows the work of Bob Proctor. And then I've also been inspired by Tony Robbins, and now specifically working with an individual of the name Elliot Ward, who's based out of the UK.
Very cool. How has being a woman shaped you in this career?
Mm, mm. So, really focusing on the idea of being a woman in modern society, it's interesting to think about, because if you don't give it any thought, we kind of just complacently get shifted from one thing to the other. And I realized when I started asking myself those deeper questions that I was saying yes to a lot of things that weren't necessarily my truth in order to have that external approval rather than making the decision from my heart space. So as a woman, like I said, I wanted to become a school teacher, unconsciously unveiling, or I would say consciously unveiling now that I did that to prove my level of intelligence, to prove my level of goodness, right? So I like to see it as healing and recovering from the good girl syndrome and stepping into my deepest level of truth. And I now see it through a whole new lens where, what does it mean to be a woman of value? What does it mean to be able to be an asset to humanity and the greater population? And that is in developing ourselves as women. So being able to step into a mindset where we're able to do better on a daily basis, and knowing that there's that internal reflection that no matter the circumstances, I'm doing my best. No matter what, I am at my best. I'm the eye in the storm. And through that power reclamation, I have now been able to step into a position as a woman where I am of value. So really healing from the good girl syndrome to be, I like to call it the badass girl, the leader, the woman of value. So shaping ourselves as women is extremely important, to be reflective and really asking ourselves those questions. Am I saying yes because it's in alignment with my truth, or am I saying yes because I need the approval of others?
That's a big one. And that is a huge difference between saying yes because you really mean yes and you really want this, or if that's what you think others think that you should want, or the others believe that that's the right thing for you as opposed to what you believe is right for yourself. Why is self-value and self-esteem so important in life in general?
In general, I would say if we're unable to see our value or worth, we're that ship without the rudder. We sail from one end to the other, and we're just kind of pushed around aimlessly, not living for purpose nor on purpose. So, really understanding, okay, what are my strengths? What's my genius zone? And how can I zero in on that to increase my value? And the only way to do so is to really take that ongoing, continual action on the daily basis to remain in the process and build that level of confidence. The confidence comes from the continuity,
Agreed.
which brings emotional stability. So I'd say in developing new habits and staying consistent with that is what really fosters the self-worth, the confidence. And without that, there's a complete disconnection between ourselves as women and our truth. And then that's where we end up taking on other people's ideas as our truth, because we're searching outside of ourselves versus on the inside.
Agreed. So how would you define success, and how do you have people find success that you work with?
Great question. So I like to view success as an equivalent to wealth, to be really fulfilled, soul aligned, and getting curious, asking questions, and consciously thinking. As Bob Proctor says it best, 96% of the population thinks they think, 3% think they think, and 1% actually actively thinks. So when you put that into perspective, it's quite mind-blowing. And being able to step into the quality of life where you're experiencing success, you need to actively think, to rewire and reprogram from detaching the genetic and environmental programming to what it is that you actually want. So asking those questions, okay, well, what are my values? What's important to me? What is it that I want? And then being able to put that image on the forefront of the mind and drive your decision making, your actions, your behaviors to then instill the belief in moving forward. And it's a
Great.
constant daily investment into the success. And I would say success is really being able to fill up your love cup first, prioritizing your needs in order to meet your wants. Once that is all brought up to the surface, then you're able to be in a position of value and being able to guide others towards success. And it ripples out in all
Comes
areas of
together,
your
a
life.
ripple effect.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, by the sounds of it, truth is really what we have to be looking from inside ourselves in order to be getting financial freedom. How do you help people discover their inner truth?
How do I help others discover their inner truth? Uh, well, shutting out the noise of the world, getting quiet, getting comfortable, falling in love with the process of being on your own to really be able to, like I said, shut out the noise and to be able to listen to that voice within. So that takes a gradual process, coming into a reflective process through journaling, meditation, breath work, uh, even going on a walk and being able to have that inner dialogue. We're all having inner dialogues with ourselves, whether we're conscious of it or not. I'd like to say, own your mind or your mind owns you.
Yeah.
So without that dialogue that's on the conscious level, nothing is able to change and nothing is able to be connected to your truth. So being able to take the reins, reclaim it, and then being able to question, be like, okay, where's this thought coming? What am I making this mean? How true is this? Is it reflective of my values, of my worldviews, or did I take this on from someone else and deemed it as truth? There's a lot of individuals, including myself, where we've been put into these different environments and we become complacent because that has been deemed as acceptable to take on other people's opinions and truths that are not necessarily true. So, what I mean by that is, if there's a large group of individuals that are, say, in a workplace and they're talking about XYZ that may be not necessarily true, may be a toxic conversation to begin with, and you decide to remain silent, to keep your mouth closed, go along to get along, that is a level of self-abandonment and disconnecting you from your truth. And many individuals have the belief that, like I said, go along to get along will move us forward. And, we're herd animals, we're herd species. Like when we're thinking of our primal needs, we want to be within the crowd. However, there's consequences to ignoring the truth. And if we're ignoring and we are living that lie, eventually it's going to surface. It's only a matter of time before it boils up.
Absolutely. So you mentioned obviously financial success. How do you help people achieve multiple streams of income in order to achieve a higher financial success?
So, as we did say, our finances are directly connected to our value and our self worth. All right. So, what I mean by that is if you look at that number in your bank account, it is directly correlated to your self image, to how you feel about yourself. So, many of us have never really been taught the direct correlation between these two, or to have a loving relationship to finances. So, really thinking about finances, to think about money as your husband. How can you love on money on a daily basis? And to really hold that in gratitude. All that you have, what you or what you appreciate appreciates in value. So in order to grow your net worth, you need to be in a state of gratitude for all that exists in that current moment. And so providing the financial literacy from not only the spiritual aspect of things, but also the physical aspect of things, in knowing we all have phenomenal ideas. However, why not shift our mindset from what we've been conditioned to earn money from time in exchange for money, to a way where we follow those who have redeemed the success that we desire. Who you listen to will dictate your future. Whoever has your ear has your life. So as I mentioned, mom and dad were my greatest mentors until the age of 25. And then I realized that I wanted, I'm sorry?
To evolve, that you have to grow. Your dad taught you as much as you could. And then, unless you're wanting to follow their direct course.
Exactly. So I knew I needed to think differently, speak differently, and behave differently. So I took on some new mentors, where I then learned, financial literacy, and wealthy people do not make decisions based on a quantified amount of time, but rather from a creative space where we can utilize each other's efforts in an interdependent environment, ecosystem, using other people's money, other people's ideas. And from there, I quickly realized that this is the formula. This is the system. Rather than reinventing the wheel, why not use other people's ideas, efforts, and money who have already redeemed the success?
Absolutely.
So this is what I show my clients.
Okay. And how do you help people fine tune those goals and upgrade their mindset if, say, their mindset is more on a basic, I'm okay, I'm making my bills every month, I can do one trip, I'm not severely in debt, or I'm making a debt repayment. How do you upgrade their mindset to say, you can do more, it's easy, follow me, we can do this together?
Well, Sandria, as you know, actions speak louder than words. So I can say whatever I want, but in order to be a leader, I need to look at my feet and see where they're going. And I know that those who follow my lead are going to be following what I do, not what I say. So I say less and I act more. And really focusing on, okay, what is it that my clients need that I need to portray through action? And I can give them copious amounts of books. Anyone can read a book. And there's a number of intellectual individuals who read books. However, are they doing the action? There's the knowing and the doing gap, and being able to close that through my action and leading the way. And then from there, I'm also able to really develop personal rapport with my clients and actively ask them questions where they can get into conscious thinking to reflect, okay, how do I need to change my behavior? Looking at our lives objectively is very, very key, from the bird's eye view.
Absolutely. And how can people get a hold of you, learn more? Are you on social media, phone number, email, Instagram? How do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, Sandria, I am most active on my Facebook. So it's my legal name, Katie Darcis. And then I also have my Instagram, Divine Warrioress. And then my email, which I did have plugged in. It's quite long. It's Katie Darcis Integrative Coaching @gmail.com. So I'll be able to plug that into you so we can have it in the description.
And I thought your Instagram is fabulous. I see your fitness journey. You're all positive. I love seeing that. And that's how we connected, was the life that you're living, that is showing people that's how you can do it. You can be free. You can have been in a small town, you know, have a great upbringing, have a plan as a child, a young child, that this is where I think I want to go. Realize, oh, no, this is what I thought I wanted. And I thought
Mhm.
this career provided that, but it actually isn't the career that is going to provide what I'm trying to achieve. And making a career change is a great thing. Evolving is a wonderful thing. So many people are terrified. They see the pension, they see the regular job, 9 to 5, you know, looking forward to the day that I turn 60 and I'm going to graduate and I'm going to try, or, you know, not graduate, I'm going to retire and I'm going to travel. But sometimes you don't make 60. Sometimes it's now. Sometimes, you know, living 30, 40 hours a week in a job that's sucking the potential that you have and the amazingness that you could be is a shame because you have one life. So I love the fact that you're a potential seeker in humans and that you are there to help others. Thank you so much for being on Ottawa Designers.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sandria, for having me. I appreciate you and your time.
We'll have you again soon. Have a wonderful day and enjoy San Diego.
I will. You too, Sandria.
Thanks. Bye.